Show me something. Hello and welcome back to the Show Me Something podcast. I'm Trevor.
I'm Jacob.
And I'm Will.
And this week I showed the boys Gurren Lagann, or Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann. Classic anime from 2007, Studio Gainax. Famous for other shows such as Evangelion, which is notorious for anyone who knows anything about anime.
I've heard of it.
The creator of this show went on to leave Gainax after a lot of controversy with the studio embezzling money.
Fuck.
And started the very famous Studio Trigger, which has made amazing, amazing shows that are in the same vein as this, quite frankly, like Kill la Kill and some other good stuff that I can't think of off the top of my head. And yeah, that's a little bit of history on this. I love this show. I'm going to start that right off the bat. But anyways, Jacob, you first.
So when Trevor first told us that we were going to be watching another anime, I was like, all right, let me buckle up. How many eps do I got? And it was more than last time, 27 episodes, because the show is only the one season, I guess.
It was an original show, so there's nothing that it's based off of. This was all originally written. There's a manga, but it came out at the same time.
Yeah, and I will say I definitely liked it a lot better than Black Lagoon. I think that it's a way better show. I actually ended up liking this show a lot. I didn't like it too much in the beginning, and I thought it was pretty slow, and I didn't really like the action in the beginning. And it took probably about until episode maybe around 10. It was a good amount of episodes in when I finally started to get into the show. And definitely after the mid-season break, when they jump into the future, I like that stuff a lot too, with how they dealt with all the characters and everything, and seeing everybody growing up. But yeah, no, I mean, I liked it. I enjoyed it. The action was pretty cool. Some of the visuals were cool, even though the show was it looked kind of old. I don't know what actual year it is. I didn't
2007.
2007.
Yeah,
I didn't like the computer generated animation. That looked really, really lame. That was all the anti-spiral people were the computer generated animation. It looked
the hand drawing weird shaky stuff.
No, you can kind of tell what it is. It's the stuff that looks more 3D-ish than the.
It happened more in the first half of the show, I think, than the second, didn't it? Or maybe...
I don't know. I noticed it just the animation of the anti-spiral is what I'm talking about. They all looked weird. But it might have just been. I think it's just what they were going for with that stuff.
I don't think there is actually any CG in this show.
Really? It's such a weird...
There definitely is.
I think it's just a strange art style.
I don't think it's the...
Maybe there is, but I've never heard that there was CG. Because bad CG in anime is a thing that is very prevalent, especially somewhat in the past couple of years. But I don't think there's any in this show.
I mean, I don't know. That's just what it looked like to me. But yeah, no, I mean, I liked it. I liked the characters a lot. They were very classic anime characters, where you have the chick who, and she's badass. I guess that's an anime trope now. Now I know. She's badass, but she's also scandalous, scantily attired or whatever. You have your tough dudes, and then you have a bunch of comic relief characters. But yeah, no, I mean, I thought it was good. I liked it. I would probably give it around an 8.5. I liked it. I thought it was really fucking cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it's still not my favorite anime, but it's really close. I still like Demon Slayer the most.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That was your first, and it's also your first real one, I guess.
Yeah, and it was
it's newer.
Because I'm not counting Avatar, which I would.
That's a whole argument that you can count it if you want to, but
I mean that would be the best one then. But yeah. So, go ahead, Will.
Yeah. So,
okay.
My first reaction was that this show is fucking trash. And I'm sorry to be that guy again. I really hated it up until halfway through when it hits I won't go into details, but something changes, right? Like episode 16, more or less. I thought it was significantly better from that point on. But, like, really was not a fan for the first 15 episodes. I thought it was boring. I thought the characters weren't interesting. I thought the location was dry, boring, not compelling. I thought the writing was poor. I thought the over-sexualization of Yoko was just so unnecessary. I get that that's a thing in anime, but it doesn't work for me. However, the second half I thought was much better. It's like honestly strange to me. Like, and it seems like someone else made the show in the second half. Obviously, I know that's not the case, but like the jump in quality and like me actually caring from the first 15 from like 16 to 27 was massive. I still don't really love it, but I don't hate it as much as I did in the first half of the season. I'm disappointed to say that because I was excited. I've heard great things about this anime. I guess the more and more I see, maybe I'm just not that big of an anime guy, and that I like the specific things that I like for whatever reason, but clearly I'm missing something because like I know that this is a very like well regarded anime, and obviously Trev loves it and Cobb liked it too, but man, it was a fucking chore for me to get through. Like I really didn't enjoy myself for a large
Did you like this more or Black Lagoon more?
Black Lagoon way more.
Really?
Way more.
Interesting.
Way more. Not even close.
You didn't like Black Lagoon.
I know that. I know. So that should be an indication of how I feel about this one.
Holy shit.
I'm not, like, if I were to break the two halves of the season from, like, up until that major plot point happens, the first 15 episodes I would give, like, a 3 out of 10. And then the last batch I would give, like, a 6. So I'm going to go with, like, a 5 out of 10. I think that's fair. I think it did improve measurably. But man, yeah, not my favorite. So yeah, I'm sorry to do that.
And that's fair.
Yeah, I'm sorry to do it to you again, Trev. I don't want to come on and be a negative.
No, dude, you're fine. I come into this honestly. I was expecting both of you to not enjoy it for some reason.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of glad at least you like the second half.
The second half was cool.
Me personally.
No, go ahead. Well, you go.
No, go. Okay. Me personally, this was one of my early shows when I was first getting into anime. This was either in or before I got to college. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of good memories about this show. It is somewhat of a parody of the mech genre. So the over-sexualization of Yoko, despite her actually getting some decent character development and whatnot later on.
Yeah, I loved her episode towards the end.
Is kind of
that was dope.
Part of, as far as my understanding, this could be somewhat wrong. This is just from like what I've heard and a little bit of research that I've done. Is like it's somewhat part of the fact that they were going for like the most ridiculous version of a mecha show that they kind of could go for. The yelling, the mechs literally being powered by fighting spirit, all that, all that dumb stuff, and it's great. The first, honestly, after my rewatch, I was a little unsure about like, oh, is this holding up as good as it was in my memories? Like at first, like the first chunk of it, it is a little on the slow side. I still love it because I have good memories with it. For me, honestly, after the time, it's a time skip, whatever.
Okay.
Everyone knows about it. Like the moment you talk about it, people are like, after the time skip thing or whatever.
Cool.
7 years.
The political stuff, I personally am not a huge fan of.
I thought that stuff was cool.
Yeah, me too.
But then once we get past that, it just goes like when it's I cried. I legitimately cried at the end of this show.
Oh, shit.
The last like what?
Well, like
4
that
episodes.
Yeah. There was that one episode where a bunch of people go down.
Yeah, like how many am I thinking?
Don't want to say who, but
yeah, episodes 24 to 27. I think I cried more and more each time. And I was at work. I was watching this at work.
They're like, Trevor, you good? You're just bawling. Fucking slow ballad came on, guys.
It's, but I love this show. I love the music in it. I'm wearing my T-shirt. I have the T-shirt of this show. Like, I love this show this much.
Nice.
I give this show still, like, I have it rated on my anime list as 10 out of 10, and I'm keeping it at 10 out of 10.
Right on, dude.
This is one of the all-time greatest. It's and they learned their lesson a little bit, just a minor. Like, once we get into it, there's a couple of things that the studio did right that they did wrong before with some of this stuff, but love this show. Great show. All right, cool. Yeah. Spoiler zone, I guess?
Yeah, might as well jump into it. I don't think we can really say much else that's not spoilery.
Yeah. So, Kamina. What do you guys feel about Kamina?
I didn't like Kamina.
Trash.
He's not my favorite character. I like the spirit of him, but but he's just not a great character.
He is there.
Go ahead, Trev.
No, go for it.
No,
you go.
No.
You go.
My point is diverging from this point, so you finish and then I'll jump.
Okay. He is there to give everyone he's there to bring the group together at the beginning and then permanently bind them with spoiler zone, obviously. He dies.
Yeah.
Were you expecting that?
No.
Was anyone expecting that?
No, I wasn't. Before that, I didn't think they were going to kill off any characters. I didn't think that the show would do it at all.
Was it like episode 6 or something that he dies?
It's early.
And when it happened, I didn't even realize that he died until the next episode when they're like, he died. And I was like, oh.
Really?
No, because I didn't realize that what they were doing with the animation was signifying his death, which is what they ended up doing for all the characters that died, where it like slowly deteriorates in animation and goes down to just like pencil drawing.
The stretched out pencil drawing. I love that thing because that's
it's really cool. But at first I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what's happening? Why is the animation style going into the shitter?
No, that is sad. I didn't cry at that because obviously I knew it was coming because I've seen this. And when I first saw it, I had no idea. I was like, what? That's insane! I can't believe, I thought he was the main character of this whole show.
Yeah,
and he's not. Obviously,
nope, it's fucking Simone.
Simone. Oh, it's so weird that's his name in Japanese too. It's Simone.
Yeah, it's nice.
Why isn't it Simon?
It's spelled like Simon. I thought it would have an E on the end.
It's Simone, and that whole episode is insane. I love that, but yeah, what were you gonna, Will? What did you have to say?
Do you all think there are good characters in this show? I mean, obviously Trevor does, but
yeah,
I didn't connect with a single character.
Simone?
Fuck Simone.
I didn't like Simone as a kid. I liked him as an adult.
Simone sucks.
That's his growth. He's a kid. He's scared, and then he.
I liked Liron. I liked Liron.
Liron was the only one that I liked. Great. Liron was the only one that I liked.
He kept saying such ridiculous things. He liked making people uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was great.
He loves it.
Yeah, I liked Liron and I liked Yoko's school episode, but that's those are the only. I liked
Yoko a lot.
The only things that I
think
can point
Yoko's
to.
a good character.
Yeah,
and I also liked what's his name, Kitan, the leader of the black siblings.
Yeah,
he's dope. He's he's just kind of ridiculous.
He's kind of like the same person as Kamina, but
I liked him more than Kamina though.
Well, less charismatic and a little more down to earth in a way.
Yeah.
Kamina was just
he's not.
ridiculous.
He can't be the big front man, but he tries to be the big front man.
Also, #fuck Rossio, dude.
Honest, Rossio
tries to put my boy Simone to death.
He's a bum.
So, and they try and redeem him, and they
fuck
kind
him,
of
dude. They get rid of him. There's multiple plot arcs in that last half of the season, and they do his arc and then they throw him away. They're like, all right, he doesn't matter anymore. Neither does Earth. We're in outer space now.
He's there at the end, isn't he? He's back in his governmental position. Fuck that dude.
He becomes the supreme leader once Simone dips.
President. They call him president at that point.
He's dictator.
Get that
dictator
bitch out of here.
I think it's supposed to imply that they kind of figure things out a little bit more.
Bro, he was a fucking snake. There's nothing to figure out.
He was. Well, they tried to redeem him with the
snake.
whole. He was super upset about having to do that to Simone or something.
Kamina
Like,
knew. Kamina knew
and then
from
he
the
tried to
jump.
kill
He's like,
himself.
he was always like, "Fuck forehead boy, dude."
Forehead boy.
He's
I
like,
knew you would love that.
why is his forehead so fucking big, dude?
Do y'all think the
so
writing of the
good,
show is
and-
good, dialogue wise?
I think the writing
It's-
is really silly. But
good for
I
what
don't
it
think
is,
it's
which is
supposed to
it's
be
not-
serious.
Yeah, it doesn't take itself seriously ever. That's why a lot of people do dislike the political section, because they love how ridiculous the show is, and then it feels like they're trying to take themselves too seriously during the political section, and then they're like, screw it, we're going to outer space.
I
We're
guess
gonna fight aliens with a giant robot.
I guess
like,
I
whatever.
just don't have enough context for like anime tone, because I didn't even consider that this was like a satire or like a send up of a genre, and so to me, I'm just taking it at face value, and like a lot of it is just
Which is
so
fair.
hard for me to stomach, like dumbass, just like the entire fucking show, everyone just screaming dumbass.
Yeah, I hate that. Why do
Um,
animes love saying dumbass? It was like that
I
in
don't know,
Black
man.
Lagoon too.
It's bad.
When
It's
Revy
bad.
was calling everybody a dumbass.
The writing is
So
bad.
to be fair,
dumbass.
I did want
Fuck
to.
Revy, dude.
Fuck Revy.
Yeah, I did want to show. Like, I was gonna show this off like pretty early on, and I wanted to show more shows before I got to this because I thought it might give more context, and I maybe should have waited longer.
No, I'm glad it's
When
over
I was
with.
when I was looking up this show online though, I was seeing people saying that it was a good anime to start on though.
Okay, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I mean, I feel like I didn't take it seriously the whole time. I just knew that, like, I figured everything was just an anime trope, and I was like, this is just classic anime. This is what
Yes.
Trevor wants us to see.
Yeah, I guess
It is.
I don't know what it is. I mean, maybe it's just like I'm trying to like do like your classic like reading of a text, and it just doesn't fucking work for this. And that's I'm not something I've
No.
encountered. You know, like I've never encountered a text that is not supposed to be understood or like looked at deeper. And so I can't help but like watch it and be like, Jesus Christ, they've said the same thing like a million times. Like
Yeah.
the right, like the bro, dumbass. Like I just
Yeah.
I just can't. It sucks because like I really
It's-
wanted to like it, and
That's where
man, I just
Yeah,
didn't.
so-
that's where I started to fall apart a little bit on my nostalgia. I was like, am I remembering this better? Was in like the early bits where it's a little rough. It's a little rough in the beginning.
Dude, the first
It's
10
definitely
episodes are fucking horrible. Like, they're just in the
was-
sand. It's nothing is interesting to look at. They're just walking in the fucking desert. I'm splintering here. I hate the design of the gunmen. Why do they have to have these giant weird faces? I hate them. They freak me out.
It's fun.
They don't, yeah,
No,
see,
dude,
I don't get it.
Keaton's gunman was awesome.
I just
He
don't-
looked like a banana.
They're all, I don't know, man.
He was like a mean banana.
yeah. This is
He
just,
was. He's a mean banana. That's
just
And
not
he just
for me.
rams people with his head.
Just not for me.
oh.
No, I mean, I feel you. It took me a little bit to get used to the way it looked, but they kind of just, I mean, it's not like that far off from like the way Transformers look. I feel like it's just like a mech, you know?
Yeah.
It's just a big mech and with a face in the chest instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just-
Sometimes they have a head.
Well, yeah, and that's like the special, like the powerful ones.
Yeah, they're
got
like, oh,
mechs.
fuck, he's got a head. Shit.
But he still
Gurren.
has a face in his chest too. He's got two
Yeah,
faces.
double head.
And then they have like quad captains and all types of shit. Yeah.
Dude, they had gunmans inside of gunmans inside of gunmans.
Inside of gun.
At
Bro,
the
I
end,
like heard you
Gunmans.
like gunmans, homie.
At the end when he's like jumping towards the anti fucking spiral.
And he
He's like,
is
it's
busting
just
out
like a
of each
Russian
one.
doll, like jumping out of each one. I was like, I forgot.
It's so cool.
Yeah, I guess. Didn't do it for me, man.
Oh,
I'm hella curmudgeonly on this, so I'm gonna try to not
Um,
talk as much because I don't want to ruin the podcast for people who like it.
So
no, you're fine, man.
I don't
so
have
in the
much else to
beginning,
say.
In the beginning, Trevor, what exactly is Simone and Kamina's relationship?
Simon's an orphan
Yeah.
in the village,
He's a digger.
and he digs holes, and Kamina's just this. I think he is also technically an orphan, so they're both being raised by the village chief poorly, and Kamina, as we kind of find out later on through some of the stories that he told to like Yoko and some of the other members of Team Gurren, he and Simon have just kind of always bonded together, and Kamina has always been the big bombastic this is what we're going to do.
Yeah,
and Simone kind of always made it happen without him even realizing he was the one that was making it happen.
Yeah.
And so, like, they have that dichotomy where Simone looks up to Kamina as this just amazing figure of bravery and masculinity. And Kamina basically relies on Simone, but can never tell him that he relies on him.
Yeah. Yeah, so...
Because that would kind of ruin their relationship.
For me, in the beginning, I didn't really understand their relationship. Like, the first, 2 episodes when they're in the... They're
blood brothers, man.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Because, like, when you first see Kamina, he is, like, with these other dudes, and he just seems like he's, like, some sort of ne'er-do-well child. And then Simone, and then he's just, like, points to Simone, and he's like, hey, man, you want to help us? And Simone's like, I don't know you, but I'll help.
It seemed like they met in that
Like,
moment.
I didn't realize they had... Wait, what did you say?
They've always... Yeah, I understand it's not super well... explained, I guess.
I didn't understand they had a relationship before that at all. No, I didn't
seem
get
like
that
it.
From like it seemed like it was just it could have been any of the little kids, like digging kids.
Yeah, agree.
Well, Simone's also the best at digging.
Which we find that out later. Yeah, I'm just talking about like the beginning. I didn't really understand. Also in the beginning, I was like, man, this show is what Kipo is based on. Like when I was trying to describe it to Abby, she was like, "What's the show about?" Like all the shit in the beginning is just like all stuff that sounds similar to Kipo.
Yeah.
Like there are people that live underground. When they go above ground, there's a bunch of weird shit. And like bizarre monsters.
Yeah.
And she's like,
you know what?
Wait,
You're not
what?
wrong. I didn't even think about that.
She's like,
honestly.
Trevor really loves that genre.
Did Abby watch any of this?
So, I mean...
No. She didn't want to watch it at all. She would listen to it because like I was watching it in the living room and she was playing like The Sims on my computer. And she's like, this shit sounds insane.
Yeah.
It is insane.
Yeah, I watched some...
They just keep stepping it up the whole time during the show. It's like... more and more and more and more ridiculous. It's like how every time they have to top themselves on how ridiculous this shit gets.
Yeah.
I love it.
What were you gonna say?
Sorry, Will.
It doesn't matter. Just keep it moving.
Yes, it does.
I was just going to say that I watched it. We were watching it on TV this morning when we were making muffins. And Riss just had the same reaction that Abby did. She was like, what the absolute fuck are you watching right now?
Some weird shit that I brought to the table as usual.
Yeah, I will say that an episode that did stand out to me from the beginning was episode 5 when they go to Rocio's village.
Oh, okay.
Just because it was like different at all. Like in the first 4 episodes, it was like I felt like we were just seeing the same thing over and over again. And then they finally like see a different thing. It's like a different scenery, even though it is another underground place. But like, I don't know.
It's a lot more abysmal, and it's got that short story, The Lottery kind of thing going on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so there was like a different whole dynamic to what was going on in this village that they found, instead of just like let's fight and shoot shit, you know?
Dumbass.
Let's deal. Yeah. Let's deal with like a weird like philosophical question that Kamina refuses to acknowledge because he's kind of an idiot at times.
Yeah. I also didn't realize at this point that they were just going to continually tag on more and more and more characters. There ends up being an absolute shitload of characters that are actually named characters.
Yeah.
Like Team Gurren is massive.
Absolutely. One of my all-time favorites, who is just like a side character, is... You won't even know who she is when I say her name. Is Liette Jokin.
I know Liette.
Who is the engineer, blonde.
Oh yeah.
She's
the blonde
dope.
Engineer lady.
She's dope.
So underrated. She's
cool.
the best.
Yeah.
No, the real underrated character is the kid who shoots all the missiles. The kid that looks like a clown with the huge lips.
I hate that kid.
Boo, I think.
Why does he look
What
like
do you mean?
that? Why does he look like that?
I don't know why he looks like that. He's hilarious.
I hated it. He's like a minstrel almost.
Jorgen?
If he had
No.
darker skin, he would be a minstrel character. Like it's so off-putting.
But he didn't.
No, I know. He's not. I'm not saying he is, but like that just such a weird visual. Like, why is he a clown?
I don't know why he's a clown.
Why isn't he a clown?
I guess that's
He's
the
so
whole.
small too.
I guess that's the whole error in my ways here. Why isn't he a clown? Is the question I should be asking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What's your problem with a little clown boy, dude? He likes to
it's-
shoot missiles.
Yeah, I mean
He loves it. He loves to just fire, man.
So is he like he's just
Let's
comic
go.
relief, right? Like is that
Yeah,
a
he
typical
is.
He's
character?
more or less a comic because and we have all the other like members of Team Diger and like the original guys who all get weirdly powerful governmental positions when they really shouldn't.
Yeah, none of them should have been leading the government. That made no sense.
No.
The two twins, the two dumb twins that like just eat meat.
God.
They can like barely say words.
Yeah,
they just. But their death was so.
they have that
That was
dope
the-
twin gunman.
the twin mech,
Yeah.
the twin gunman. Yeah, like their death was just so sad to me. Oh, God, I love this show. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
So how often did you guys actually end up watching the openings? Because I kept saying to watch the
I
openings and watch
watched.
the
Well, I
openings.
started watching them more when you said that, but it still wasn't super often. It was usually just when I would start watching the show again, and then towards the end, I like backed up on one of the final episodes because I wanted to see if it changed at all at the end. But yeah, I mean the intros changed a little bit, but I didn't think they were super important. Why did you want us to watch them?
So this is the thing that unfortunately stuff with like Netflix where they auto skip like opening songs and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't really get that when I was first getting into anime. It was I either had to just sit through and listen to it or manually skip. So I was always listening to the song at least a little bit, and everybody was. A lot of people always listen to the openings because they're weird or something.
No, I mean I get that. I do that with some shows. The Office, Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
You gotta listen.
But those are so the thing with this show, the reason I brought it up was because I finished way earlier than you guys. And I forgot about the last episode, the big fight. They bring the opening song in. And it's like this amazing moment where you're just like, that's the intro.
Yeah.
That's the big hype song. And it just makes it feel a lot, at least to me and everyone I've ever talked to that's into anime, that moment is amazing. Because they're bringing the intro into this big climactic moment. And it's like, we've been hearing this song the whole time. And here it is in the show. It's amazing. So I was like, you guys, I didn't want to just say you got to do that because they're going to play the song at the end. It's like, try and listen to it at least a little bit. Maybe it'll kind of hit a little bit. And I imagine
I thought the song was cool. You know?
for like,
Will
like
hated
that was,
it.
that's a, yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen Will more sad and downtrodden than he is right now. He's
No,
like,
I'm actually,
That's
I'm really
fair,
just
though.
like, I'm really happy that I don't have to watch this show anymore. If I'm being honest,
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry.
I can't
I'm
believe that
sorry.
you liked Black Lagoon more. I honestly
Dude,
cannot
this
believe
show just had there's no fucking redeeming quality in the show for me. Like, it did nothing for me. Black Lagoon was at least minorly interesting, and like I kind of want to know where it went.
it wasn't
but, like,
interesting at all.
This show ended like 5 times. Why did it have to end so many different times? There was like 7 endings in the last 6 episodes.
There was a lot of conclusions.
Yeah.
You know, like why
There's-
we're
what
just
is it,
like
like one
keep
of the-
stacking rising action and rising action. It's just like I don't know.
Hell yeah.
Maybe I'm just I'm in a
Yeah.
grumpy mood this week, but
Like-
I was not about
I mean,
it.
my only thing with that, like, I have no defense other than to shrug and say that's anime.
That's it.
I know, I just
episode 23 is titled "Let's Go. This is the final battle." That's the name of the episode.
And there's
23.
Wasn't there a
4
bunch
more
of episodes
fucking
that said
episodes.
final battle in it?
yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Just
I can't-
every time it's like final battle, we got it.
I can't just like, this is anime, an entire 27 episodes. I just can't. It just didn't
No,
work for me.
I understand, but like,
Fuck.
in the last episode where they're just throwing friggin' galaxies at each other.
Awful.
Yeah, that
so
shit was
ridiculous.
Awful. Hated
It's
it.
so dumb.
Hated it.
No, that's why it's great because it's so dumb.
Nope.
It's the dumbest.
That's not-
And that's why I love it.
That's not
personally.
valid. It's not good because it's dumb. That's ugh.
I think it is.
And I respect that. For me, I should preface that by saying for me that doesn't work for me.
It's been going on, like it's been getting more and more ridiculous, and then like to be fair, a lot of the ridiculous, especially in early episodes, was like a decent gradual progression.
Yeah.
You know, it was like we're gonna fight, we're gonna steal a mech, we're gonna combine the mechs, we're gonna do 1 new move, 2 new moves, big drill thing, and then we jump from I got this big mech that's like an ark's like I got this mech. Now the mech's the size of like an arc that can take hundreds of thousands of people. Now the mech's the size of the moon. Now the mech is the size of a galaxy. Because screw it, right? Why not? Like, those jumps are ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I love it. Because they're just like, at the end, they're like, screw it. Whatever, we're doing anything.
Yeah, did they...
Anything we want.
Did they steal the moon having a face thing from Legend of Zelda? With the evil moon?
Maybe. I don't know.
Which came first?
Who knows, man? Everything had a face, though, in that show. So I feel like that was only a natural... They kept talking about, like, the moon, like, throughout the show, so...
I like the head.
I will say, I was... to go back a little bit, I was super confused of where the show was going to go after they defeated the Spiral King in the middle of the season. I was like, what the fuck else is there to do?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so there's going to be one episode where it's like, all right, this is what's happening afterwards, but then what? And they were like, fuck it. Season 2 inside of Season 1.
Yeah.
More or less. It's more or less like the second arc could very easily be a whole nother season.
I mean,
of
it
the show.
is basically a different season.
There's even a
they have
recap
a full
episode.
buffer. Yeah, that's a recap.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was shocked.
There's a couple of recap episodes,
I was shocked
though.
to see that those were all a week apart. Like, it wasn't like there was a couple months in between like that. Those were all aired a week apart, the entire show. I thought that it would at least be like a month between the recap and the start of
Yeah, that's crazy.
the time jump.
Nah,
Because
man.
I agree with you. It feels like they got more funding in the second half of the season.
I mean,
They probably did get more funding.
but like that's
But
the thing
also,
is
the reason-
there's no gap in production. So like I just don't know like why. It's just the rhythm is so weird.
So, Studio Gainax, who made this show, before they made this, they made, like I said earlier in this non-spoiler zone, they made Neon Genesis Evangelion. And that show is very famous for, because I probably won't bring it because it's a long show and it's so fucking ridiculous. It's another big mech show that's a lot more serious. Towards the end of it, they ran out of money. They straight up ran out of money.
That's dope.
They had no money. So the animation quality takes the biggest tank you've ever seen in your entire, like, to degrees you couldn't, like, you're like, how did this ever air? Kind of degrees of tanking in quality where they took it as, like, that's our artistic no, you ran out of money. So in this show, it feels like the earlier season they were saving their money a lot more.
Yeah.
And episode 4 especially.
Yeah, that's where I first wrote down. That was my first note I took of the whole thing. I didn't take any notes for 1 through 3. And then I wrote down, has the art changed a little bit? It looks more crude.
Yeah.
Like the
they had a different
characters look different.
They had a different director that came in for that one episode. And the speculation is, like, that is that animator style, but also the speculation is that that was a money-saving episode.
That's when they first introduced the black siblings, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is weird that, like, such prominent characters in that show were introduced in a weird one-off director budget episode. Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, at this
they-
point, I thought it was going to be like a like Case of the Week style, and you weren't going to see these people again. But they do end up coming back.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was the case with Viral, too, and Viral ends up being in the entire show. He's
Viral's
very
great.
integral.
Viral is a great character.
Yeah, I
and
don't
he is-
understand how the Beastmen don't have spiral power. They said it was tied to DNA. Wouldn't them
Yeah.
being living beings still have DNA?
Because the Spiral King created them specifically not to, like, so they can't reproduce. So they don't have DNA. They just exist.
How does that work? How does that make any sense?
Spiral.
It's anime.
I don't
It's anime,
understand.
bro.
I don't do it. Don't do that to me, Will. I'm trying to understand. I'm trying
It's
to
spiral
understand.
energy, man.
Does that make any sense to you, though, Will? I don't, like...
Why are you asking me that question? You already know my answer.
I don't know, man. I want to know what your interpretation is,
My
bro. I
interpretation
don't want to
is
leave you left
this
out.
shit is bad, dude. It doesn't make any sense.
Come on.
All right, wait. I will say though, as much as I have been the worst presence of all time in audio history, I did really love the reboot, the 7-year time jump. It was like the world building all of a sudden was fucking awesome. There was diversity in scenery. There was a lot of different characters they were jumping through. I loved seeing where they were.
Yeah.
Of course, it takes a shit because then it just goes like and does what we were just talking about with like rising action for 10 episodes. But like those first 2 or 3 episodes when they're in the future and like we're figuring out what the fuck, how do they build an entire civilization in 7 years, and like what's the impending threat, and like Nia, we haven't even mentioned Nia yet at all.
Princess
I
Nia.
love Nia.
Nia's great.
I don't like
she
Nia.
like she disappears or whatever the fuck.
That's
I like Nia. That shit was awesome, and the contrast of the first 15 episodes is made so much more stark by how inventive and creative that second setting is, because like obviously they go different places in the first half of the season, and there are a ton of different storylines, but like I don't remember a time that it wasn't desert and like red and boring. Like it's so fucking
about
a couple
boring.
of ocean episodes?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, what about when they were in the ocean?
There's the 2 ocean episodes where they had the giant gunman with the kayak paddles.
That was crazy.
I don't even remember that. I honestly fell asleep watching some of this last week, so maybe I was asleep. Yeah, I'm
Cheating.
sorry. I'm sorry. It wasn't cheating. It was a genuine reaction to this show. I was that fucking bored that I fell asleep on my couch.
What about the beach episode when there's like some similarities to the Avatar beach episode?
Yeah, whatever. Isn't that the
Beach episodes are classic.
Isn't the beach? They're just playing volley. It's just an excuse to get Yoko in a tiny fucking bikini and just bounce her tits everywhere.
No,
She
wasn't.
more
She
covered
was
up.
exactly.
It's Nia. Whatever. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean.
Nia was
Also,
covered
Nia
up
had
too.
a-
Nia was covered
It
up.
was covered up too.
You're thinking of the
Don't
black
care.
siblings. They were wearing bikinis.
Okay.
They were all in
Sure.
like tight.
Come on, dude, know your characters.
Anime
Trevor,
beach
right?
episode is an excuse to show anime titties.
Not true. All right.
That is, most anime have a beach episode, to the point that when I was in anime club in college and we would go to the lake, we would officially call the lake trip the beach episode.
Nice.
So,
But the similarities that I saw was that there was the volleyball, and then there was also the jealousy over a guy's attention from one female character to another. They both,
Yes.
Avatar and this show, did that.
That's
as
also
like,
whack.
that's fairly
as like the beginning story arc of the episode.
Shout out to the Bechdel
that's
test.
fairly standard.
Fuck that.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I also want to say that the mid-roll art is dope when they do their like cutting for commercial, I guess. They're just like these random like little stills of like cool art. I just thought they were cool looking.
So good. They do, I think did they do something similar in Kill la Kill? I can't remember.
Is Kill la Kill
Anyways,
also a
yeah,
mech?
I love that.
Is Kill la Kill also a mech anime?
No. Kill la Kill is even more ridiculous.
That one came up as recommended for me after I rated this one on IMDb. It was like, maybe you want to watch Kill la Kill now.
Kill la Kill is about clothes that grant super abilities to people in a alternate world where Japan this doesn't really matter. Japan and Nazi Germany won.
Classic!
Oh, so it's one of those Nazi
also it
worship
doesn't-
animes?
No, because it doesn't matter, because like literally the whole thing takes place in this totalitarian school.
Trevor, are you going to show us a
where-
Nazi anime at some point? Just forewarn me.
Actually, kind of, yes.
Oh, God.
Jesus fucking Christ.
But they're not the good. They're not the good guy. Well, one of them, they're kind of the good guys.
They're like
but they're not the
sympathetic.
good
They're like,
guys.
man, we didn't mean it.
Can we have somebody sit in my place for
And-
that episode?
No, you'll be fine. Anyways, Kill
Bring
la
in
Kill
Richard
is even,
Spencer.
is even more ridiculous in that the main character gets like a super suit.
That was a
Well,
good
it's
pull,
her-
wasn't it?
Great
Will?
pull, yeah, I loved it.
Sorry, Trevor.
She gets like her school uniform is a super suit that whenever she powers up, she does like a magical girl transformation, except it becomes like a super tight bikini thing.
Hot.
And
Yeah, some of the shots in this
Yeah,
show
it's
of boobs were
ridiculous.
ridiculous. Can we talk about
so
how
ridiculous.
they
All of
would
them.
use the boobs as a cut?
Yeah.
Like like it cut to a random shot and the camera's POV would be through her tits. I was
Yep.
like, what the fuck am I watching? If
It's
someone walks in the room right now, they're gonna be like, what the fuck?
It's so absurd, man. I just, like, the amount of money. They probably lost all their fucking money because they're too busy animating jiggling tits and ass.
The tit animation. Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
no, that's what makes money. Are you kidding? That's what makes money.
Yeah, Will, how do you think they're gonna sell mouse pads if they don't have the titties?
I don't give a fuck how they sell mouse
Exactly.
pads. Make a more compelling narrative. Fuck.
Ooh, harsh.
Not harsh.
Anyways,
My opinion. I like the head in the jar. I like the head in the jar. Lord Genome is dope.
the Lord Genome in the jar is pretty
I like
dope.
him. And I like how he comes back at the end with a body to fight in the final fight.
And he he realizes like that he's kind of been wrong this whole time to have been hiding. It's like I'm just a spiral warrior.
I also
and then
I will say
the quantum energy bullshit is so dumb, but
I will say I think it's the last episode. It's like the final fight when they're all like they do like a big speech and like each of them has like one line in the speech and then they all
yes
that did give me goosebumps. So like there is some emotional resonance for me. Like that was dope. It's just the fact that it took it took 10 hours to get there is like, well, fuck you. But I mean that part was sweet.
That's fine.
Yeah, that part was sweet.
And that's when the opening song is playing.
Yeah. That was cool.
Everyone's getting their move in with the big mech. It's like, I'll take it. And like what's his name? The guy who left his wife back on Earth, who let him go.
That is Dayaka.
Dayaka. He's like, my
You're
wife
welcome
is the
for
best
writing
in
down
the universe.
everybody.
Swing.
Yeah. That was good.
Like, and all that stuff. Everyone gets their special, like Yoko's gun comes out in the giant mech. And we got virile swords and it's just, oh my god, I love that so much.
Who is you guys' favorite of the black siblings?
That's really hard
Dead
because Keenan kind of takes a bad turn whenever she like
is chilling with is she the one who chills with Rocio?
Yeah, that's Rocio's person.
The only one I know is the guy, and he's just like jealous of his sisters the entire time. Very weird energy.
Yeah, Kyo is the one who gets pregnant and marries Dayaka, and then Kial is the other one who's like with the baby a lot.
I guess
she's like kind of silly.
With them to help out.
I don't know what her characteristics are, other than that she's kind of goofy.
She's kind of goofy and the youngest.
Oh, she's the youngest. Okay.
Or was she the middle? I don't remember.
I liked whatever the brother's name is. He is like the easy pick.
Keaton?
Yeah, he had some good moments.
He has a great end, like his death scene.
Yeah.
Dude, I cried there too. Rip Keaton. I was like, damn.
That was legit.
I didn't like him when they first introduced him.
No, he sucked.
And then him after the time skip, I was like, man, this character is actually kind of dope.
Yeah, when he was like defending Simone and like pissed off at Rocio, even though he got bitch slapped by Rocio, weakest fight of all time. Like throwing a bunch of missed punches.
No, his sister's the one that bitch slapped him.
He missed four punches and then got slapped.
Dude, I can't believe he missed the punches. I took that as like they're not used to fighting anymore, but maybe he was just trash.
Also, I think he might have not wanted to really hit
him.
Bullshit.
He wanted to.
Bullshit.
No way.
I don't know, man.
That's a cop out.
I mean, Rocio fought in Gurren Lagann for like many years.
Yeah, but he was trash at it. That shit was all Simone.
That is true. It was all Simone.
No one.
It was
did
all
shit.
Simone, and it was all the pig mole. The pig mole has superpowers.
Buta.
Dude, the pig mole becoming anthropomorphic was so weird. That was so weird.
It was weird. Trigger.
Is there Rule 34 for that?
What is that question, Kyle? This entire show, there's probably Rule 34 for the fucking gunman.
Oh God.
More than likely,
penis.
Yeah.
Mad drill sex. Big old drill sex.
Oh God.
Yeah. Trigger, like those guys over at Gynax and then Trigger did kind of like their anthropomorphized animals. Like their whole new show, BNA, that's on Netflix right now. Really good, by the way. But it's all about beastmen, like a beastman city.
Ugh.
And a girl who becomes a beastman. It's really good, though. It's really good. I enjoyed it. It's furry bait, but it's really good.
Take your word for it.
Yikes.
Yeah, the
what did you guys think about...
Go ahead. No, you're good. Go.
I was just going to ask what you guys thought about Spiral King as like the bad guy in the beginning and then him turning into like a computer as Lord Genome.
He was dope. Yeah, I mentioned when you were in the bathroom, but I liked the head in the jar. He was dope. I liked his character turn. I liked that he stuck around, and like Trevor mentioned, I liked that he kind of realized that he was wrong the whole time. And I liked when he got his body back.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
big swole motherfucker at the end. He was dope.
Yeah, his animation
in his
style
dope mech.
was really cool.
Yeah.
And he was definitely a super threatening like villain to have in the beginning. Like
Yeah.
he seemed like he was all powerful. It was a little bit of a letdown, the fight in that last episode. I felt like he should have had more of a fight in him. Just because of how much he was built up through like 16 episodes. But I was also kind of expecting the fight to be as like intense as like the 4-episode fight or however long the episode was in Avatar when he fights the Fire Lord. Just
Nah, that
because
doesn't come till we get to the spiral people.
they're
like
so
anti-spiral.
set up. They're so set up similar. They're like barely shown. They're like in the throne room. He's menacing as fuck and badass, and everybody's like, "Oh man, he fucks shit up." You know?
He is the Lord who created all these like Beastmen generals.
Yeah.
And,
But all the Beastmen generals get
well,
fucked up.
yeah, they do, and it's awesome.
Dude, I laughed so hard at that fucking Birdman who showed up when Simone and Vero were in jail. The fucking like Eagle Man with the fucked up arm.
Oh,
You
I
guys know
felt
what I'm
bad
talking
for
about?
that guy.
Oh, the chicken
Yeah,
dude.
I laughed my ass
Yeah,
off
yeah,
when
yeah.
he
I felt
showed
bad
up.
for him.
They
And then
just
everybody
kick the
blamed
shit
it
out
on
of
them. They're beating up that poor Birdman.
Yeah. How'd you guys feel about the animation
So good.
of the anti-spiral guy? The weird, like,
I
super
I
rudimentary.
liked the way
I
he
love
looked.
it.
I hated the way the ships looked.
That's fair. I really like the way he looks. I think it's a very interesting, like, stylistic contrast. They're technically existing in like a universe between universes.
Yeah, it's like
or
between
whatever their
dimensions,
explanation
right?
was.
Don't they say it's like
Yeah,
between like
between
the 10th and 11th dimension? Or
Yeah,
some
they do.
bullshit
Something
like that.
Yeah.
They're like, we're in between, bitch. He's like flat.
Yeah. He's
They
like
only
Paper
are able
Mario.
to find it because of the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
The
is.
ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I do love that animation though, and I think they're an interesting villain who actually has a somewhat like
It's like Thanos.
believable reason though for like doing what they do. I guess like they want to save the universe.
They are Thanos, are they not? It's the same shit.
more or less.
He's like,
yeah,
I want to
you're not
save the
wrong.
universe by getting rid of these things because they'll fuck it up.
Like they were spiral beings, but they forsake it because it would ruin the universe.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure still. Like I was trying to watch because I remember that was the plot point, but I was trying to pay attention. Like, does it ever get stated that that might not be right?
No,
Like,
I think it's still
'cause I feel-
definitely possible, but I think that their motive for still trying to defeat the anti-spiral was that, like, we are humans and we have spiral power and we will do everything we can for that to not happen.
To save the ones we
Yeah.
love and all that.
And
stuff.
then they get all the other spiral beings from around the universe and, like, have a council because that's when the ship is, like, going off or whatever at the end.
Yeah, at the end, I want to talk about that in a second.
Because, like, I think that they're basically just like, we'll try for that to not happen. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't
I
say
think
for
they
sure
have-
whether or not.
To be fair, they're like, this is what's going to happen. It's impossible for it not to happen. And Team Gurren's whole thing is we make the impossible possible.
Yeah, it's like the Han
That is
Solo,
literally
don't
their
tell me the
entire-
odds, you know?
And they literally do that like multiple times.
Yeah.
And I love that. And also I love, real quick, back to Rossiu. I want to talk about this for a second. As much of an asshole as he is,
Yeah.
I love when he is about to kill himself. And Simone rocks up in Gurren and jumps out and says the same thing that Communist said, like, let me see you grit those teeth.
Yeah.
And just punches him in the face. I love that moment.
Well, he
'cause
turns
that's
into
such
Kamina, essentially.
he turns into a better Kamina.
Yeah, a more well-rounded Kamina.
A more well-rounded, level-headed, still not going to retreat, but tactical, like, loop around, I guess, instead.
I feel like he's
Yeah.
nowhere.
He won't call it a retreat.
He's nowhere near as stubborn or impulsive as Kamina is.
No, he's not. Yeah,
Right.
he's a better
he's
version.
Still stubborn and he's still stubborn and impulsive, but not near as bad. Like, not to a fault.
Right.
To a positive at
Yeah.
that point.
Um,
And
did you guys want to
So-
talk about Yoko's episode? I know you liked that one, Will.
yes, I want to talk about Yoko.
Yeah, me too. Trev, you go first.
I love it. I was sad.
Really good.
I remember when I first watched this. I was sad that it was like, where's Yoko? Why isn't she here?
Yeah. I didn't even realize. I was like, man, she's been gone for like 3 episodes.
Yeah, me either. I had no idea.
Because there's so many characters. Like, there's just a million of them.
For sure, but I like the idea that she's kind of like, she realizes, like how the rest of the characters probably should have realized, this political thing is not for me. And she is probably the person that could have made it work the most. Because she's actually somewhat intelligent. Unlike the rest of the Team Diker.
That's
and
true.
They're all kind of
Well, some of them
idiot,
are.
manly men.
Leron is smart.
Well, no,
and
but
so
like, I'm
is,
talking about the guys that actually
Rasu.
have big governmental positions. Like the Jorgen brothers, Keaton,
The cigarette guy.
cigarette guy, whatever his name
Rasu
is.
is a bitch.
Kid, I think is the other one.
Oh, what about the bald kid, or the bald guy that marries the mechanic lady? Rip.
Yeah,
I think that was the
so
biggest
sad.
rip of the whole thing.
Oh, because she realizes it too. She's like, "Yep."
But then
That
she
was
knows
him,
she
and
has to keep doing her work.
She gets a little sad, and it's like, "All right, Simone, we got like 10 more minutes. Hold it in there or something." And it's like, oh, and they got kids back home.
Yeah, they got kids that look just like them.
like a combination of the two of them. It's great.
But yeah,
it's
sorry.
so good.
Back to the Yoko.
Yoko episode. I love that she becomes a teacher on an island and pretending to not be Yoko,
Yeah.
Miss Yoshino instead. But Will, like, I want to hear your thoughts about it.
Yeah, I loved it. I really loved it. This was like the one episode where I would say that I was like genuinely like engaged for the entirety of the episode. It's sad to say that a lot of them lost me, but this one I was like, oh, this is really fucking cool. Like different environment, good story beats. I thought the 2 kids were really great. It was interesting to see her in that role, you know, like so far removed from what we're used to her character being. She wasn't overly sexualized until, of course, she was eventually when she has to change and her fucking tits flop out and she, like, it's just like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's her battle attire.
Which is ridiculous, Trevor. Like,
Her,
what are we talking
her
about?
Space outfit was way worse. Her
Way
space outfit
worse.
was
Her
ridiculous.
space outfit is so much worse.
I just don't.
I
And
can't
they
stand
even
them.
drew her tits bigger.
I
For
don't
sure.
understand.
100% they were bigger.
I don't understand it.
Spiral energy, man.
Whatever.
Fuck off. Fuck off.
Yeah, that may be. I mean, I don't know what it is, and I'm going to continue to try to figure out what is the thing that like just doesn't hit for me. But like, I really do think that the over sexualization of women, not to be like your fucking classic PC warrior, it's just like
Fucking
it's
SJW.
it's
over
really
here.
difficult for me to get past, dude. Like I can't do it. Like it's so hard. Every time it happens, it takes me out of what I'm watching because I'm like, wow, this is fucking absurd. So anyway, yeah, I loved it, and I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that she wasn't being bounced around for 25 minutes. But nice.
She's a genuinely good
Yeah,
teacher.
she's a great teacher. I thought it was cool to see her care for the kids that way. And then obviously, like at the end, the fight was dope. You know, when she has to fight those two.
Because she like, and I also like that she has definitely gotten stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because she takes out those 2 gunmen on her own.
Yeah.
And so it definitely shows that she did stick around, I think, in the city for a little, like for a while, for a couple
Like
of
she's
years.
not
Yeah,
out there
'cause they
for
were
6
building
years.
the
Is she?
communist statue.
No, I think she's out with the kids for about a year or 2.
That's what it seemed like, because they were like, it's been 6 years since they came up, right? So it was only like a year.
Yeah. Yeah, so she was like probably with the guys fighting the remaining beastmen that were like around. So she got stronger over that period of time. Ooh, I hit my mic. And then we got to see that a little bit, where these 2 gunmen come in and are like attacking the island while everyone's trying to evacuate.
Yeah.
And she's just like, boom, 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 just takes them both out. And it was so
Yeah, that was
cool.
dope. That was one of my favorite fight
And
scenes for sure.
And telling the kids are like, she is Yoko from our textbook. And she's like, no, I'm still your teacher.
Yeah.
I'll be back with your report cards later.
Yeah. Her like chalk throwing was
And-
great too. I love that. Like just whipping the fucking chalk.
Because it still shows like this isn't a totally separate character. It might as well be a separate character. It's like, no, there's still aspects of Yoko there.
Yeah.
She's still a sick badass.
Yeah. Yeah, she's cool. I liked her a lot.
Yeah, no,
she's a good character.
The Yoko episode has got to be one of the best episodes in the entire
I'm
show.
sad there weren't more of those.
For sure.
Because, like, I liked getting away from all the absurdity of the main plot. Like, that's a very grounded
Yeah, I would have
episode.
really liked to see, like, more episodes where it focused on one character like that.
Yeah.
Like, because we got a lot of episodes that was a lot of different characters developing at the same time. But hers, I feel like being separate, I feel like helped a lot.
Yeah.
You know? I think that it could have been cool to see some of those other Gurren Lagann or Team Gurren people be able to have their own thing.
I'd love to see a Leron episode.
Yeah.
I'd love to see a
Leron is...
Leita episode. I think that would be cool. She probably has some great backstory.
I bet she's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's like, you know, I've been incredibly overbearingly negative, but there are a lot of cool like parts that are cool. I mean, I wouldn't give it a 5 out of 10 if I really hated every second of it. I definitely didn't enjoy it, but I do think there's a lot of merit to it.
For sure.
I did really...
I want to talk about Nina for... Oh, no, go
No,
ahead.
yeah,
Sorry.
I'm wrapping up that little tangent, and I would like to talk about Nia also. But I did like how... We've already kind of mentioned it, but one of the things I liked a lot was the variance in animation style. So, like, you had... When it goes down to, like, crude pencil drawings, like, during death, or, like, the way that the anti-spirals were animated, I thought was very cool. I don't know how common that is throughout other animes, like, if that's a thing that they jump back and forth between animation style.
The pencil drawing upon death is definitely a trope. I don't know if this show started it. I don't think they started it, but I think they might have popularized it. This is also me just talking no research, personal experience type things. It's definitely a trope, though. Like, you'll see it in other shows eventually. And I do like that trope, though. I think it's a cool trope. I think it lends emphasis pretty well without... It's not... I feel like it's not overused yet. It might get overused at some point, but for now, I still dig that trope.
Yeah, same. So cool, yeah. Nia?
Nia. I like Nia. I do too. I really like Nia.
I don't like Nia.
I think...
None of us can agree on anything. I didn't like Nia because, like, I just felt like she was just kind of like a stupid character.
I feel like she should have gotten a little bit smarter.
Why was she so dumb? Like,
she was a sheltered princess. That's kind
so
of her whole thing.
She just fucking dumb. She doesn't know what words are. Like, she had to have heard some words in her life.
I mean, bro, he found her in a chest. Like, she was living in a fucking
but
chest.
like
a coffin.
Yeah.
When you look at the throne room, he's got his like daughters or whatever with him, like during the conversations. So like,
those are not daughters.
I thought they were they not? What were they?
No, those are what he's making the daughters with.
Oh, so those were wives.
Like,
or
remember,
whatever.
Remember the episode where they're fighting the mole guy, the guy with the dome gunman.
You mean the turtle guy?
The turtle guy, yeah. And they go to
what's his name? Like he's like I don't move. What his like something the
immovable.
You fucking moved this time, bitch. You fucking died.
But when they go to
Team Gurren, wow, fight the power.
Fuck. When they go to the pit that's got the women in it, that is where they are, like, keeping and essentially farming wives for
I don't
Lord
know.
Genome.
I just feel like I didn't really... I just didn't like that her character was so, like overly innocent, and it's just, like... I don't know. It's kind of boring. It's kind of just a boring character. She's overly innocent for no reason. It's just like, whatever.
You're not wrong, but we needed some innocence in the show.
They're like, she's innocent and cute. Don't you think she's cute? And it's like, I guess she's just like...
I mean, she is.
I think
I don't know.
She like trusts everybody, and she's the only one that believes in Simon when everyone else friggin' gives up on him almost immediately. That's one of the things that really annoyed me. Was everyone just gave up on him after Kami had died. They're like...
Yeah, they're like, isn't Simon a piece of shit? Why is he sad?
We're all sad. Why can't he be, like, sad and still working or something? And it's like, guys, That's his like brother. That's his best friend.
Really, dude, this kid's like 8 years old. That was his dad,
like,
basically.
He'll figure it out on his own. Like even Yoko and like, it's just so. But like I love that like she comes in and starts to help him. She doesn't fix him, but she helps him fix himself, which I feel like that's all he needed. He needed somebody to like help him.
To
remember.
be fair, I did think those episodes were annoying when he was overly sad.
Yeah.
So I was with the rest of the team when they were like mad at him because like I'm like, bro, like you just come on.
I think one of the main.
No, I get that. Like,
I think one of the main reasons I enjoy her character is because she has a bit of a heel turn. And obviously it's not entirely autonomous what the decisions that she makes. Like, she's being controlled by her genetic makeup. I'm still kind of fuzzy on, like, why she turned like that. But,
it's plot.
Yeah.
Plot reason.
So,
the writing dictates that she needs to be
evil.
The anti-spiral messenger, so therefore she is.
So, I mean, like, muddy and questionable reasoning and logic aside, I did enjoy that she was like this sweet innocent like foil for Seabone, and then all of a sudden she was like the bad person, despite not being like overly violent or anything like that, but she was like a daunting or ominous presence, and I did enjoy that. I didn't enjoy the fact that she had to be naked and like gently censored with the fucking digital boxes at the end when she's like
that was
crucified in space,
that
and
was
like
weird.
Why is she nude? You know, like she's a child. But again, whatever.
That shit was so strange.
I mean, she wasn't a child at that point. I think technically they were all above 18 years of age at that point.
It was only a 7-year jump. I feel like they would have been like teenagers.
7-year jump.
Wasn't she supposed to be the same age as Simone?
Yeah, and Simone at the bare minimum, I think, was like 12 or 13, like 12 or something like that.
All right. Well, either way, I mean, obviously age would matter if she was younger, but still, it's like, does she need to be naked in that sense? But again, that's just me being my SJW self. So, yeah, she's cool though. I liked her blue hair. That was dope. I liked the beach episode where she had the first half was dumb, and I've already spoken about that. But I liked when she bonded with Yoko at the end, when like they give her a haircut or whatever. That was cute.
Yeah,
I liked that. That was cool. Also, Simone was 14 when he was the kid.
Oh wow! Okay,
and
so
21
he's a lot older.
after the time.
He's
jump.
a bitch-made 14-year-old.
Yeah, what the fuck?
He acts like an 8-year-old.
He acts like a fucking 2-year-old, bro.
Like, honestly, I think people were very accepting of it because of Evangelion before this. The main character from that show is way more of a bitch.
They're drawn like a baby, but they're actually
16.
80 years old.
No, he's just a crybaby.
Oh.
In the other show, so I think people were more accepting of the fact that like, oh, Simon's a little sad, but he can pull it together.
I just thought Simon was boring. Like, he wasn't compelling to me at all. Like, I don't think his narrative was that. Like, it's not a unique narrative. Like, coming from, poverty into being like a war hero. Like, there was no aspect of his character where I was like, oh, this is dope.
Well, he's got the drill.
I mean, Simone's great. I like Simone still. I think I like that there's actual character development for him.
All he does is he gets older. He
person.
doesn't grow that much. He gets older.
Absolutely, he grows.
He grows.
Are
you kidding? He's such a crybaby. And like even during the crybaby stage, he gets a bit better and better and better. And then he kind of regresses after Kamina dies. But then he goes back and he's like better again. And he gets like dope when he's older.
You know what I think it is?
And he kind of lets...
Sorry. Finish your sentence and then I'll say what I think it is.
No, it's fine.
We've interrupted Trevor like 100 times and I just did it again.
I'm always getting interrupted. It's fine. He lets Rossio try and put him to death because he realizes that he's just gotta he knows that things are gonna work out. So he's like, Rossio, you're still my friend despite you being an asshole right now. I'm gonna kind of let this happen. And he probably, if it wasn't for the end of the world, he probably would have gotten out of prison on his own anyways before he actually got killed. Or he might have let himself die because his bro died. And so he's like, sometimes accepting death for the greater good is okay. Or something.
I think that this show says bro more than any other show has ever said any other word in history.
That's a fact.
It says bro so often.
Bro.
Okay.
Are you talking about my bro?
Bro. Where's my bro?
Also,
Bro, I miss you, bro.
The population turning on Simone and Kamina's statue and
Oh,
everything. Like,
yeah, that is
in an
also
instant.
That was crazy.
yeah. That's something I wanted to mention. They really demonize protesters.
yeah, they do.
Like
which
for
is
in a
little
time
bit
that
rough
we're in right
nowadays.
now, when like there's a lot of protesting happening, this show demonizes them like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is 07. You can't really like.
Protesting existed in 07.
I know.
You can't tie it to this particular
I don't know.
political moment, but it can be tied.
No,
to a
I know,
larger,
but like,
but it can be tied to a
to
larger
show-
political moment.
to show a movement, to like be able to show people as such awful people just because the government's so good. It's just, I don't know. I didn't like how they portrayed them.
To be fair, they also were not mad at the government per se. They were mad at Simone.
Well, he was the leader
and
of the
Kamina
government.
for. Yeah. They got mad at him for bringing them out of the holes in the ground because now they're all gonna die, or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, shut up.
I mean,
Be
essentially,
grateful.
they started off with like a dictatorship, essentially, right?
Yeah, it was weird, especially calling Simone Supreme Commander.
or maybe like some form of like oligarchy or something. I don't know. It was like a weird political system that they had, but
Supposedly, it turns into a democracy at the end because it's President
yeah.
Rossiu. So,
I don't know though, but
I don't
that's
know.
pretty much
So-
all I have to say. I don't know if that
what did you guys What did you guys think about the very ending, though? Not the post-credit sequence, but we will talk about that. But
Oh.
the ending.
Wait, there's a post-credit sequence?
Yeah, he told us.
I said it.
Rip.
The part where they're like going into space to see the other spiral racers.
Yeah. And
Missed
it shows,
Missed it.
and it also shows Simone as like basically Kamina.
Bro, as soon as the credits rolled,
old.
I could not have closed out of Netflix faster. I just I'm sorry.
I
I know.
told you there was a
He
I
did
post
tell
post-credit
us
do.
sequence.
technically.
He
He
did.
did tell us technically.
No.
Anyways,
I'm wrong.
let's talk
I'm bad
about
for that.
the ending, and then me and Jacob will talk about the post.
I like the ending. I like the ending. I liked how he got married. I like how they were okay with her floating away. It was cute. It was a cute ending.
He passes on the drill to
Yeah.
Gimme.
Yeah, I
Gimme
agree.
and Dari are the new pilots
I agree with
of
all
Gurren
of that.
Lagann.
Yeah, it was dope.
It was cool, but it's so sad.
No,
It wasn't that sad.
It's so
not really.
and also.
But I don't like
don't know.
Nia, so.
I don't like
Mia, and I
Simone,
thought it was so
so-
sad. I was
Dang.
see, I like both of them. So like, what do you want? Simone fights, and he knows. I think he realizes like pretty early on, like especially when she glitches out, that like, oh, she's not gonna make it no matter what. So, but he like fights for his wife, and then they marry, and she dies at the wedding.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. And then he just leaves. He just fucks off.
He leaves. He's done. He doesn't want it anymore.
He's just gonna wander for the rest of eternity.
That's good shit.
Which is what he
Obi-Wan.
should've
Big
done.
Obi-Wan energy.
He should have done in the beginning.
Nah, he need. Like, also, I think that's the big thing. With
He should have
everyone.
never
Like,
stayed in the government. That was the whole thing.
Most
He
of the-
realized it was a fucking mistake. That's why he wandered.
That was part of the reason that I think a lot of Team Daigoren dies is they stuck around in the government because there was still a fight. There was still a fight. They didn't know what it was, but there was still a fight they had to fight. But now that they were doing the fight, it was okay for them to pass on. And the show kind of talks about that, where it's like the past and the future combine to keep us moving forward. So we can't keep the past around.
Yeah.
We got to move forward for those that have passed on. And it's like really cool. So he accepts he's not dead, but it's time for him to move on as well and let the new generation and those that have the future ahead of them take the future forward.
Yeah.
And then that's when we get our flash forward to 20 years in the future. Well, it's 20 years in the future that you missed out on.
I'll be fine.
Yeah, it's post-credit sequence. It shows Simone as an old man slash new Kamina, and there's like a little kid that he talks to, and the little kid's like, I want to fight in a gunman someday, and he's like, yeah, you can do that.
And the kid even asks him, he's like, who are you? Or he's like he helps the kid with he's like, wow, mister, you're really great. He's like, of course, who the hell do you think I am? And he gets interrupted
Yeah.
because the kid doesn't know who he is. And he's like, yeah, I guess I'm not really anybody anymore. And it's like, Buta's with him, and it's great. And
Yeah.
Yoko's back on the island. She's still a teacher.
Yeah.
She's got like an old face
Yeah,
to
she's
her
old
now,
now.
but it's only 20 years.
But she's still curvy.
She's still curvy. And like I think she gets a message from one of those students that she had that's like, I'm going into space. I'm going into space to do the spiral race convention or whatever. I want to thank you for teaching me or whatever as a kid. And it's really sweet because she never, I mean, she has the kiss of death. Can we talk about that for 1 second?
What do you mean?
Everyone that's ever kissed Yoko dies in this show. Kamina and then Kitan, both. Like, are like, oh, yeah, Yoko. And she's like, all right, cool. And then they just die immediately.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's sad.
Worth it, maybe, though.
So I guess she just... Probably. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of nice to see everyone just is older and things are looking pretty good.
How long is this scene?
Viron doesn't age, by
Is it
the
a couple minutes?
It's like a minute or two. Yeah.
Who doesn't age?
It's very Liron, I feel like, seemed like he did not age a day.
That's awesome. I like Liron. He was great.
It's kind of wild. Like Gimme and Dari are a bit older, and they're like getting into like Gurren Lagann, and they're gonna fly off. Viral is now the commander of the oh crap, I forget what they call the ship that's the moon ship.
Super
That
Galaxy,
one.
whatever the
He's
fuck.
the I don't know. That's whenever they turn it into the mech,
I have no idea.
or is it? I don't.
It was
remember.
hard. It was hard for me to keep up with the
I fe-
names, to be honest.
It gets a little difficult at times, because Daiguren was the boat that they had, and that was fine. Whatever. Anyways, Viral's the commander of that ship now. And it's great. It's cool.
Yeah.
Like people have aged up again. We get another time skip, and it's a satisfying time skip.
Word.
And it's, I think, a nice ending to the whole show.
Word. I'm sorry that I forgot about that. That's bad watching on my part.
It's all right, dude. It happens.
You're fired, Will.
I'm fine. I'm submitting my resignation.
Harbor Boy privileges revoked.
Cool.
You don't get to watch any more of my trash anime.
That's
Damn, now Trevor's gonna be coming in sad with his next anime.
No, the thing is,
No, I'm not.
just
I don't
keep
care.
showing
I
it to
fully
me.
expected not
I
everyone to
mean,
like it.
Fuck my opinion, you know. Like, I keep showing them to me. I'm willing to learn. This one was tough. I'll be honest. 27 episodes was a fucking lot, but it definitely had its moments. So, you know, I look forward to whatever you bring next, as long as it's not 27 episodes, or I have more than a week to do it because of my own procrastination, not through any fault of your own.
It should no, like it was a bit long, and you know we're learning, we're figuring it out. If I ever bring something this long again, we'll definitely have more time than just our 2 weeks that we're giving ourselves now.
Word.
All right, well, I think that about sums it up. Was there anything anyone wanted to say, like that we forgot to talk about?
No, I don't think so. I mean, if you made it this far and you haven't seen it, damn, we spoiled some of it for you. But
Who cares? Go watch it
I'd
anyways.
recommend
it's ridiculous
it if you
to watch.
if you like anime, or if you're trying to get into anime and you like some sillier content. It's definitely not very serious. There's some good action, and I mean, I had a good time. It took me a little bit to get into it, but I had a good time.
Yeah, I'm good.
Will? Okay.
Good recap.
Yeah. I still love this show. I probably won't rewatch it for a very long time, but regardless, it's still great. And thank you guys for watching it and giving your opinions, and thank you guys for listening.
Oh yeah, wear a mask.
Peace out.